Hello, my good folks. I return with a unique concept for an episode which I've wanted to make for a long time. Instead of just talking about one company's logos and its different names throughout history, I was thinking of tackling more than one company, but without a twist. With a twist, I mean, only my favorite logos, or in this case, trailers, ones that I think are definitely worth checking out. They'll still be in release order for your viewing pleasure. Now, a brief piece of my history with these. When I was a little kid wandering through the internet, mainly YouTube, I got introduced to all kinds of company logos, whether they'd be the popular or unpopular ones. One of the things that have always fascinated me when it comes to the sort of unpopular ones are companies that mainly specialize in making cinematic technologies, not even necessarily just sound ones. But of these technology companies, the sound ones have fascinated me much more, to the point where these types of trailers have become, in my opinion, my favorite pieces of underappreciated types of audiovisual identities. That's why in today's episode, I'll be covering 7 Dolby logos, 4 DTS logos, 9 THX logos, and 2 RealD logos, since these companies have some great trailers / logos in store for me to show y'all. Alrighty, let's start with Dolby. A brief summary of them. Dolby Laboratories is a company mainly specialized in sound and sometimes image technologies, founded in 1965 in London, England by Ray Dolby, an American engineer whose first great achievement was the Dolby noise reduction system, which basically reduced the hiss which would usually be heard when listening to a cassette tape. They later moved to San Francisco, California in 1976, where they still remain today. They have made numerous technologies over the years, too numerous to mention all at once. What isn't difficult to mention is their awesome trailers. Ever since, well, I'm not sure, I'd say like about the mid to late 70s, Dolby has made various promotional bumpers that would be shown before movies in equipped theaters that had their systems, most of them being awesome. A few of them I've had the chance to see in theaters, 2 of them at least. One of them is not here in this list. You'll see which ones they are when I get to them, or which one. Our first trailer, one for Dolby Stereo, used to be seen in the mid to late 80s in theaters which were equipped with it, and before Dolby Digital became the commonly heard system, or was even invented. Here you go! I actually really like this trailer because it has 3 words I like to use to describe some great logos. Simple, yet effective. This trailer serves as a great demonstration because of the simplicity of it. Just the Dolby symbol zooming by the screen, then just flashing and forming the text at the end already makes for an effective demonstration of what the sound system can be capable of. It isn't as good as some of the others, but it is already a great start to Dolby's trailers. I mean, not technically start, because Filmac had already done a few other trailers before this one, but whatever. Now, the next one, Train, was released in 1992 with the release of Batman Returns, which was the first ever movie to be released in a newer iteration of Dolby Stereo, which would eventually become what we know today as Dolby Digital. Whoa, this is awesome! While I do recognize that a trailer like this wouldn't really make everyone happy because of the eerie atmosphere and creepy sound effects, I still really like this trailer because it effectively shows the capabilities of the sound system in a clever way, specifically in this case, a train just running. As someone who doesn't really like horror or any kind of supernatural or even like eerie type thing, this somehow doesn't scare me, even with headphones. I think it just strikes the right balance. I just think it's awesome. This is a great trailer which I think would be really cool to see in theaters. The next one, City, came out in 1996 when the system was already called Dolby Digital. This specific trailer had many versions made for different Dolby systems, which I think is pretty cool. Let's watch and listen. I'd say this one is awesome in a different way to the last trailer. While the last one was awesome because it effectively managed to show off the capabilities of the sound system in a clever, simple, but slightly creepy way, this one effectively shows off the capabilities of the sound system in a grander way, where it kinda goes crazy with what it can do, albeit not too much. The helicopter flying around is another clever way to demonstrate the sound, and the soundtrack is, while kinda weird and all over the place, still awesome. The guitar noises are especially cool, and the way the music grows in intensity at the end when we zoom into the theater is also pretty cool, even though it does startle me a bit with headphones. Overall, great trailer. Now, after Dolby received complaints from theater managers about their louder trailers, Dolby made a series of quieter but still pretty cool and interesting trailers to be played, such as Canyon, Egypt, and Temple. Temple, in that case, was made for theaters which still couldn't run Dolby Digital, so it was a Dolby Stereo trailer, technically. Though one trailer that kinda does this as well, but has become one of, if not my favorite cinema trailers ever, Rain, was introduced in 1998. Made in collaboration with You and Company, this trailer was impressively made using real-life water droplets and strobe lights, which capture the droplets colliding in midair. That does not mean everything was real, though, and there are a few CGI moments in the trailer, but somehow it was only 10% CG footage, which only makes it more impressive. It was also the first trailer to be released in Dolby's newer sound system at the time, Dolby Digital Surround EX. All that said, take a look at the greatness of Rain. I actually love this trailer. It is a beautiful trailer to look at and listen to, and definitely one of the best cinema trailers in general out there. Of course, you are free to disagree. This is one of those trailers which I think absolutely nails it on demonstrating the sound system, doing not much else other than showing relaxing visuals and sounds, kind of like the other trailers like Canyon and Temple did. But I think what sets this one apart from the others is the fact that it actually uses practical effects and uses them beautifully in to the advantage of the trailer. We gotta thank Garson Yu and Marco D'Ambrosio for the visual and sound design respectively. In fact, Mr. D'Ambrosio was actually also the one who idealized the instantly recognizable 5-note sounder, doo 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 doo, which plays at the end of this and the next trailer. I think the trailer also has a certain air of mysteriousness to it, which I personally admire, but might not be everyone's cup of tea. Overall, the factors mentioned make this a trailer definitely worth being included before a good old movie. It's really, really great. Although, this still doesn't beat the next trailer in terms of the sheer radiance and greatness. You saw that, right? Do I even need to explain why Aurora, as it's officially called, is amazing? Officially introduced in 1999 along with The Phantom Menace in cinemas, it's another collaboration between Yu and D'Ambrosio, and they managed to make a trailer that exceeds every expectation imaginable of what could make a great trailer like the previous one. The magnificent visuals and the grand but beautiful music makes this the only Dolby trailer in this episode. I think the only trailer in general that can be enjoyed by everyone. I'd say the last trailers, while really cool, wouldn't really be enjoyed by people for one reason or the other, either because of the intensity, eeriness, or mysteriousness of them. Meanwhile, this one's combination of sight and sound makes for something that I think can appeal to everyone. That's the thing I love about this trailer. Even though Rain is still my favorite, I believe this one is the best Dolby trailer in their entire history. It's just about the perfect mixture of the factors that make a trailer like this work. Well, I believe we should move on to my next favorite, which would be City Redux, introduced in 2006 in theaters and animated by Real Effects, believe it or not. I've actually had personal experience with this one, albeit on TV. As I've reconstructed a bit ago on this channel, it used to be seen on all channels of the Telecine network, a Brazilian pay TV channel similar to HBO, which only broadcasted movies. Until 2019, they used to show this trailer before every movie on every channel 24 hours a day. You can tell I used to see this often. Unfortunately, they stopped showing this trailer or any other Dolby trailer in general when they rebranded in 2019. They still broadcast movies to this day, by the way. I actually kind of miss seeing this trailer or any trailer in general, as it was part of my excitement as a kid of watching a movie on the channels. Although sometimes I just watch the adult channels because I watch the logos to movies instead of watching the movies themselves. That's how much of a logo fan I was. And still kind of is. Anyway, about the trailer itself, it's a great trailer both on its own and as a homage to City. Sure, the quote-unquote narrative beats from that trailer aren't recreated faithfully, but this trailer still provides us with some real eye and ear candy, especially the futuristic music and sound effects, and of course the amazing animation from Real Effects makes this an awesome trailer, worthy of the big screen and the small screen. Well, onto our final Dolby trailer for this episode, Spheres. This one I've actually seen in theaters a few times, and I'd say from personal experience that already, I really like it. Let 'em roll! This trailer was actually primarily made to promote Dolby Surround 7.1, which was introduced along with Toy Story 3, with this trailer apparently being seen before the movie's premiere. Although Dolby was nice enough to make a Dolby Digital 5.1 version of the trailer for non-Surround 7.1 cinemas, and that's how I came across it. It used to be used on a few cinema chains that had screens near me. And I gotta say, it is a pretty cool experience seeing this in theaters. While not as enriching as trailers like Rain and Aurora, or exhilarating like Train, City, and City Redux, it does hit a balance between these extremes, and that's what I really like about it. It definitely is an effective trailer to see on any screen, in my opinion, though preferably with larger screens and sharper sound. Well, those are all the Dolby trailers I really like. Now on to DTS. DTS, originally the initials of Digital Theater Systems, later changing the meaning to Dedicated to Sound, was founded in 1990 by Terry Beard, who later got the backing from Steven Spielberg to premiere the new DTS system with Jurassic Park. I'd say the rest is history. Now, they don't have as many trailers as Dolby does, but the trailers they do have are quite something to talk about. Let's begin, shall we? Our first trailer, which according to some sources on forums and uploads on YouTube is officially named Standalone, debuted in 1993 along with DTS's first official film, Jurassic Park. Let's see what it has in store. Whoa! Looks like DTS started out extreme from the get-go. This is an awesome trailer, and while I do agree with the people who complained that this wasn't all that appropriate for quieter movies, I do still think this is a great trailer to introduce a new competitor on the sound market. The animation and the sound make a great complement for each other, and both really succeed in giving off the impression that you're about to be blown away by great sound in an extreme movie. Overall, a great start to DTS's trailer lineup. Now, since this trailer got complaints that it was too noisy and bombastic for quieter movies, DTS actually made another quieter trailer to answer these complaints, but since it was so similar to the Imagine Entertainment logo that Imagine threatened a lawsuit, DTS pulled that trailer almost immediately, to the point where that trailer remains lost to this day. However, that didn't stop them from making another quieter trailer to replace this one in early 2000. And fortunately, that got a good run, so we'll be able to show it here. This is also a trailer I've seen on DVDs, more specifically my DVD of E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This is Sonic Landscape. I really like this trailer because it is the opposite of the last one. While the last one was cool because of the noisiness, this one is cool because of the quiet, relaxing nature of it, kind of like how Dolby's Rain trailer was. This one was another great collaboration, where the music was made by Musikvergnügen, who also did various other Sonic branding jobs over the years, including the previously covered Buena Vista Home Video logo. What a coincidence, huh? Anyways, this trailer is also a great one from DTS, because just like Dolby's Rain, it manages to effectively mesmerize you without going too much in your face or noisy like Standalone did. That's what makes this a great trailer that, honestly, like Dolby's Rain and Aurora, can appeal to lots more people because of the quieter, relaxing nature of it. I dig it! Now, on to the next one, which was introduced in 2005 and was used right until DTS stopped existing by that name in the cinema business in 2009. Let me introduce you to Sparks. Now, the version I have just showed you is one of two versions of this trailer that exist, this one being the Sprite Suite version, which is the lossless version. Another one exists, but I don't think it's worth showing here. It's creepier than this one since it has just the sound effects, and the sound effects themselves are not too great. Yeesh. That being said, even with the other version being creepier than this one, this trailer is either way also a great one. Sure, not as long or captivating as Sonic Landscape or Standalone, but it's still a great trailer from DTS, and one which would look pretty cool in theaters, especially if it's the Sprite Suite. I think that's all I have to say about it. Let's see what the next one, introduced in 2007, has to offer. This one, since DTS sold off their cinema division, was much more commonly seen in stuff like DVD and Blu-ray releases, and also DTS's demo discs. I'll only show the orchestra version of this one, as it's unofficially nicknamed. I don't really think it has any official nicknames, actually. Well, let's take a look and a listen. Whoa, this is really nice. Keep in mind that this is more of a home cinema logo, since theaters around this time were still using Sparks. That one was pretty cool, but I think this one would have been great to see in theaters, especially with a great combination of animation and sound, which, as we've seen in other trailers in this episode, is essential to creating an experience that can pump you up before a movie. I also dig it. Well, I feel like wrapping up the DTS section here since I don't want to make this episode too long and fillery, even though other trailers like Listen and Out of the Box are some of my favorites. Let's move on to arguably the most popular company out there when it comes to this kind of trailers, which would be THX. THX was founded in 1983 by famous filmmaker George Lucas, along with audio engineer Tomlinson Holman. By the way, if you didn't know, THX means Tomlinson Holman's Experiment. It's also a homage to George Lucas's first movie, THX 1138. Bet you didn't know that? They were part of Lucasfilm until 2001 when they were spun off into their own company, THX Limited. In 2016, they were acquired by Razer, the gaming equipment company. What a buyout, am I right? Now, THX has got so many trailers, I decided to include 6 of them in this episode, but even today, THX still manages to keep up a great streak of trailers. Without further ado, let's get into them. Something interesting to remember is that the first 4 THX trailers were all named after Best Picture winners at the Oscars, which I think is a cool homage. The first one I've got to show today is without a doubt the single trailer that defined THX's whole existence, and that would be Broadway, released in late 1983 along with some unknown movie. Honestly, I'm kind of out of words to describe this trailer. I think I'll say it's a classic. Not only that, an amazing classic. Sure, if you watch this trailer with the sound off or just don't know how it sounds like, the animation just seems pretty boring. Just a few fade-ins, fade-outs, a shine, and that's it. But you know what helps make the animation amazing and what complements it? The deep note. Yup. The sound that has scarred lots of people for life. Even I used to be scared of it at some point. But you know what I think? The deep note is absolutely the best piece of trademarked sonic branding that exists. It's got so many layers of greatness that I honestly just can't describe them all. The deep note alone makes this one heck of a trailer, probably the best sound system trailer of all time. Still not my favorite though. It's definitely one of my favorites, but it isn't my favorite. Rain still is, but as I've said at the beginning, you're free to have your own opinion. I didn't say that at the beginning, but I was originally meaning to. Anyways, in short, Broadway is the best trailer in general because of its sheer presence. The factor of simplicity and a sound that does scare a bit, but still positively stays in your mind, at least for me, makes it the best trailer for me. I love it a lot. I'd say my next favorite one would be Cimarron, released in 1988 with the release of Willow. Though the original mix was lost for many years before being found last year, which was replaced for a similar reason to Dolby and DTS's trailers, being too loud to the point of damaging the speakers. I guess all the major sound companies have had a problem like this. Interesting to know. Anyways, here's Cimarron. That specific mix of the trailer was actually done for Dolby systems of the time. Honestly, that mix is awesome. Even though I like both versions of the trailer, I find this one pretty cool because while the first mix has a more bombastically creepy in-your-face nature, this one is more peaceful in a way, even though it still feels bombastic. I honestly can't explain the nuances that make certain trailers work and others not so much, but they seem to differ. In the case of Cimarron, I'd honestly rather see the Dolby version before a movie instead of the original mix. However, one thing that both versions nailed at is the visual aspect of it. Done by the magicians of Industrial Light and Magic, this was actually the first THX trailer, apparently, to use computer-generated images, which I find awesome, even though I am still a fan of practical effects. All the ingredients of this trailer are mixtured perfectly, you could say. That's what makes this one of the best THX trailers, and honestly one of my best favorites. I've noticed I'm more of an old school guy sometimes. Sometimes I just like the old stuff. Another favorite of mine is the next trailer, which premiered along with Jurassic Park in 1993, along with the DTS trailer. What a cool coincidence. Anyways, let's take a look and listen to Grand. Another trailer that might not please everyone for one reason or another, but I appreciate so much just because of what it does. I like how this trailer has a bit of influence from Cimarron, which I think is more because of the main colors filling the screen being red and blue, but also the fact that it doesn't use a full-on deep note at the end, and the whole air of eeriness throughout these first few seconds of the trailer. So much so I can't even explain what those sounds are. They apparently use sounds of dolphins to make those. They really did a great job with that one, even though it does creep me out a little bit. But hey, I think for once everyone can agree that the THX logo coming in at the end in that blue background, we would much rather see than that first segment, along with that angelic version of the deep note. Honestly, while I do agree with the people who were mad during the time these trailers came out that the deep note was gone in favor of much more forgettable versions, I still like both of the trailers because at least for the people who aren't really fans of the deep note or are just scared of it, it gave them a good 2-trailer break. And besides, it's not like those versions themselves are bad, they just had to compete with the sheer presence that the amazing deep note brings. I still really like this trailer and it's one of my favorites, probably a tie with Cimarron, although Grand is just a bit higher in my opinion. Definitely a fit for the big event that the movie was attached to was. Another fun fact about this trailer before we moved on, one of the sound designers from this trailer, along with David Slusser, is actually Marco D'Ambrosio, who did the Dolby Rain and Aurora trailers we saw. Pretty cool coincidence, again. Moving on to our next trailer, it's a classic that was introduced to the world in 1996 along with Independence Day, featuring a certain robot. That's right, it's time we look at THX. Do I even need to explain why this trailer is universally loved? Done in collaboration with Pixar Animation Studios, THX is a great trailer due to its simplicity. Yup, another one that does that. Similar to trailers like Dolby's Train, it takes advantage of the capabilities of certain sound systems to effectively demonstrate them in a clever little way. While Dolby used methods like a running train or a helicopter flying through a city, THX just used a robot that goes to both sides of the screen to fix their own logo. How clever in a cute way is that? It's a trailer that honestly can be seen before movies of all genres, no prob, and I think it's that universal appeal that makes this a great trailer. I mean, sure, it's appeal that is for a different reason than a trailer like Aurora, but who said that was a bad thing? Honestly, I don't know what else I have to say about it. Oh yeah, did I mention THX is a charismatic as heck mascot? You can definitely understand why he became popular, especially since the first 2 trailers featuring him, THX and Moocan, appeared on various Pixar releases on DVD during the early to mid-2000s, and I'm glad they gave him that exposure. Overall, a great trailer which is one of my all-time favorites. Let's move on to the next one, which premiered in 1999 along with the release of Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, which was also the first movie released in a partnership between Dolby and THX, which resulted in Dolby Digital Surround EX. Yup, bet you didn't know that. Let's take a look and listen to the cleverly named Broadway 2000. Visually, not really all that much to talk about, but am I the only one who finds that Deep Note super cool? Seriously, I think this trailer's version of the Deep Note is pretty underappreciated. Sure, it's not as good as the original in many ways, but I still think this was a pretty cool one-off experiment in tweaking the Deep Note outside of Cimarron and Grand, especially since this is the closest to one-off variation we've had to the actual Deep Note. The "Let's See It in THX" slogan is also something I also thought was pretty cool and animated in a cool way. Overall, I thought this trailer was a pretty cool one, which doesn't really live up to the other trailers I've included here, not even the original Broadway, but I still think it's a pretty cool trailer to see before a DVD, for example. It's cool. I like it a lot, especially that awesome rendition of the Deep Note. The next trailer came out in 2001 and is one of the more well-known THX trailers, especially since it was included in The Incredibles on DVD. Let's take a thunderous look at Cavalcade. Mysteriousness in the flesh. Or maybe in the Thunderball? I don't know. Anyways, this trailer is one of my favorites because this time, the mysterious nature we've seen on other trailers is turned up to the max, but in a way that, at least I think, wouldn't bother other people as much. Maybe it's because I never used to have any type of scary experience with this logo as a kid. But keep in mind I say I, since I recognize my opinion is not the same as everyone else's, and I don't like to treat it as such. Anyway, I like how they turned the great special trailer seen on the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition DVD into a theatrical one, but they managed to tweak it enough to still work as its own thing without all the Terminator 2 references. You gotta thank Van Lang for that. That's one of the most impressive things about this trailer in my opinion. I also like how they finally brought back the rectangle in a homage to the Broadway trailer, one of the all-time essentials of the THX library. Overall, a great trailer that definitely does the job of getting you excited for the movie well. The next trailer, introduced in 2005, was THX's first ever trailer released in digital cinema packages. Well, technically not the first one to be released in them, but the first one to take advantage of them. And similar to Broadway 2000, is a simpler trailer, but still pretty darn awesome in my opinion. Let's take a look at Science. Seriously, what else can I say about this trailer other than it being awesome? As the first THX trailer released for digital cinema, they really treated this as the innovation it was. I really like the slogan introduced in this trailer since it brings out a great feeling of anticipation and sets great expectations. The little spark appearing was also apparently made to test out the sharp picture of digital cinema projectors, and it was a pretty awesome way to do so. This trailer also introduced another new version of the Deep Note, this one sounding even better than the others, since it sounds the closest to the original Deep Note, while still sounding kinda different and bigger. So much so that it was used in the redone version of Broadway, and will also be used in the Genesis trailer we'll see in a bit. Spoiler alert! Anyways, this is basically a better version of Broadway 2000, since it manages to evoke a better feeling overall, while still using simpler animation. That's what I really like about it. However, an even better trailer was released in 2007 and it ran in theaters, but you might know it best for appearing in various DVD releases throughout the late 2000s, most notably Avatar. This is Amazing Life. Speaking of Amazing Life, just listen to that bird chirping in the background. I've decided to keep it in. I'm not really bothered by those sounds. How else can I describe this trailer other than the first word in the title? When I first saw this trailer on the DVD for Avatar, it managed to fit with the movie's vibe perfectly, but on its own, it's one of the best THX trailers because it strikes just the right balance between visual and audio wonder. All the little plants making the sounds create a great atmosphere which is amazing to watch before a movie. It's just so imaginative and creates a great vibe. Overall, one of the best trailers out there in my opinion. Well, onto the final one from THX, which is their most recent one released in 2019, done in collaboration with Andrew Kramer and American Meme, made to celebrate their 35th anniversary in 2018. This is, without a doubt, one of the most ambitious THX trailers of all time. If you haven't already, please put on your headphones and prepare to be utterly amazed by Genesis. What did I tell you? Honestly, this might be the best THX trailer ever made, and a close tie with Cimarron and Grand as my favorite. I mean, after what you just saw, is there any other way I can express what makes this trailer great? The fantastic animation, the moving, sometimes literally sound, the great concepts, the little callbacks to other THX trailers out there, such as that dragonfly flying over the Amazing Life Flowers, and Tex full-on making his first trailer appearance in 13 years, that THX space station at the end, oh my god, that THX space station at the end. Honestly, this trailer has so much that I can't really express it all. This trailer is truly a wonder for all the senses, and I'm so glad it's getting used in theaters. It's actually used as the intro for THX's ultimate cinema rooms around the globe, and I'm so glad people from other territories are getting to finally see this. This one, along with the new Cinemark XD bumper by Imaginary Forces, is one of my favorite pieces of cinema advertising released in the last few years. Both of these convey the excitement of a movie-going experience so well. That's pretty much all I have to say about it, really. Well, we've covered THX, so let's move on to our next company, and last, RealD. As opposed to the other companies we've seen, RealD works mainly with imaging. More specifically, 3D imaging. Founded in 2003 by Michael Lewis and Joshua Greer, 3D was always the game they wanted to play. So much so that RealD 3D is the most used piece of 3D technology by cinemas worldwide nowadays. Of course, the popularity of 3D has started to take a dip over the years, but that hasn't stopped RealD from still investing on the format to this day, since it still does attract a certain crowd. Now, since RealD isn't really a company that has many trailers, I'll only cover the two main ones they used throughout the mid to late 2000s, which I don't think have any nicknames. Our first one is RealD's first ever trailer, introduced to the world in 2005 with the first movie ever in digital 3D, Chicken Little. Say what you will about that movie, you can't change history. Hit it! Now, believe it or not, this trailer is still being used in Brazil by cinemas from the Cinemark chain, and due to that, I've actually seen this trailer in theaters quite a few times, and let me tell ya, what a cool trailer. Sure, it isn't as great as other trailers like the ones we've seen earlier in the episode, but I still really like this trailer. It's one that works really well with the format it was made for, and that's what I really like about it. I'm not really sure how the stuff going on in this logo ties back to how 3D happens, but that's another part of why I like this trailer. A nice little piece of trivia, this trailer was actually made by Scott R. Archambault, who also is known by his username Chlorine Dream, who has worked with other companies such as IGN on their marketing stuff. His website doesn't exist anymore, but using the Wayback Machine, you can learn a bit more about what he's done, and besides, he was nice enough to post the stuff included in that website onto YouTube, so you can watch his portfolio there. Anyways, this is a trailer I really like because this is a captivating kind of trailer. It's a trailer that you can see before a movie and get excited about it because of the strategies it uses. The combination of the 3D images, the animation, and the sound all comes together to make this trailer what it is. It's a really interesting trailer I really like, and I think it's kind of underappreciated. Anyways, let's move on to the last trailer in our episode, which came around the time of RealD's rebranding in 2009, done by our good old pals Cinema Concepts, along with the animation studio Laundry. Hit it! Again! Another cool trailer that definitely isn't as cool as the last one, but it's still a great trailer that takes advantage of the 3D technology. This is still a trailer that successfully does the job of getting you excited for the cool 3D effects you're gonna see during a movie, and also successfully does the job of not only using great images, but also great sound to convey its message. This is a trailer I wouldn't mind seeing in theaters, even though I really like the last one. A great little trailer indeed. And with that, we conclude another episode of Danny the Logo Historian. I've wanted to make an episode like this for a long time, and I hope that you like that little detour on the usual format of the show. Trailers for image and sound companies are something that has always fascinated me in terms of things that are part of a movie-going experience, and I'm glad I managed to cover them in this episode. And thanks for the bird, I guess, for accompanying me. I hope it doesn't annoy you all. Definitely doesn't for me. Thanks for tuning in, and now I'm signing off. See you next time!